It is on track to become the largest transportation project in Tennessee history, with the promise of easing traffic jams on Interstate 24 here in Middle Tennessee.
We're talking about the I-24 Choice Lane project. It's designed to build 2 express toll lanes running in both directions between Nashville and Murfreesboro.
So during a hearing that wrapped up just a short time ago, the state named the private group it will partner with to design, finance, build, and operate it for 50 years. That's no short timeline. WSMV4 investigative reporter Stacey Cameron was at that meeting. Stacey, today's announcement is really stirring up some of the controversy on this project because it had some local neighborhoods worried.
Yeah, that's right. And here's what's sparking some new fear over this 26-mile toll lane project. See, because the plans aren't 100% finalized, TDOT and the Transportation Modernization Board, which created to oversee the project, they can't say how many homes or businesses will have to be bought out by the state through eminent domain and demolished to make way for on-ramps and exit ramps. And so today, even before the state named a group called Drive Tennessee as its private partner in this project, the board voted to approve expanding those toll lanes in 3 directions. Now, expansion isn't set in stone yet, but if it happens, the project will grow in 3 directions: north along I-25 and I-65 through downtown Nashville, east along I-40 near Nashville International Airport, and south through Murfreesboro along I-40 towards US 41. But here's the problem for folks living in those areas. Expansion means more exits. More exits means more people will likely lose their property, and more neighborhoods will suffer through nearly 8 years of construction, noise, and diverted traffic. Now, Governor Bill Lee, who championed this project through the state legislature, and TDOT Commissioner Will Reed said the project is going to set a new national standard for public-private partnerships, ultimately save TDOT money and having a private company finance, build, and operate it, and help cut down on traffic congestion along the I-24 corridor. But here's Commissioner Reed, followed by State Representative John Ray Clements, who isn't buying any of the promises the state's selling on this Choice Lane project.
This one project, 26 miles, is $9 billion. We would never be able to afford it, this project, and address congestion for the Tennesseans that deserve it, the people that drive on our facilities, without a model that leveraged private sector capital and the ability to innovate and bring us a solution that, again, leverage that private capital to be able to build a project in 8 years.
I've asked for years for reliable data to show how this is going to reduce congestion in the greater Nashville region and on I-24. I've yet to be provided with a single data point showing how this will reduce traffic for the families I represent.
So there is some good news for some homes and businesses that believe they would be losing their property when this project was initially greenlit. We're told today the design plan by that group, Drive Tennessee, will not demolish the new Pan Asian Market off Bell Road or the Noble Place townhomes. Now, the fine details of this project and the state's deal with Drive TN still have to be ironed out, but we're told financing should be in place with construction starting in early 2027, and then the whole project should be complete 8 years later in 2035. We'll follow it as it moves along. For WSMV4, I'm investigative reporter Stacey Cameron.